Some journeys begin with a tear before they ever begin with a road. They begin in the quiet hopes of a family. For me, education had always seemed like a road to somewhere greater.
Beyond the classroom was a world I had never seen.
But after Form 4, the road suddenly became narrower. Mechanical engineering had been my childhood dream. But dreams had to compete with the realities of home. Then came an invitation letter from Kenya Science Teachers College. A teacher training course offered a practical doorway into further education. My mother did not easily accept a problem as the final word. She went from one trusted person to another, looking for a way.
The money was small, but the hope behind it was enormous.
My mother asked my cousin Joss to take me to Nairobi. Joss knew Nairobi better than I did, and that knowledge mattered. I gathered my academic documents and packed them carefully. I checked my pen and ruler again and again. Silo lent me a simple black cotton waist jacket. To me, that old jacket was almost a ceremonial robe. The interview was on Tuesday, so Monday became the day of departure. I walked the long rural path to my Uncle Jim's homestead. By about 8, I reached Uncle Jim's homestead, where I found my cousin Joss ready waiting for me. Joss had brought a live chicken as a gift to our Nairobi hosts. We said goodbye and began walking toward Embu.
The first part of the journey was familiar.
Near Koimugo Estate, we passed Kathita Stream. At about 9, Embu appeared before us. The bus station was another world altogether. We boarded the first bus in the queue, Katanga bus service. I persuaded Joss that we should sit behind the driver.
The bus filled quickly. Everyone seemed to be carrying a different hope toward Nairobi. For me, the road itself became a classroom.
Beyond the Rupingazi River, the landscape began to change.
Joss named places as we passed, turning geography into stories.
At Kutus, passengers got off and others climbed aboard. Then came Kagio and its rice fields. Sagana followed, and the railway became part of the journey.
I had heard of the railway line there.
Then a loud hoot shattered the ordinary rhythm of the road.
A large locomotive appeared and seemed enormous to me.
For a moment, I forgot everything except the sight before me. Maragua brought its bananas and roadside sellers.
At Kenol, Joss told me Thika was close.
Thika struck me with its bustle and industry. Nairobi was no longer an abstract name.
The city seemed to move at a different speed from the countryside. Joss held my hand at several crossings, so I would not be swallowed by the traffic.
We passed Kenyatta National Hospital.
The medical institutions made the city feel even larger. The landmarks seemed to arrive one after another.
After a very long walk, we finally approached the college.
There it was, Kenya Science. I looked at the college and imagined it as my future.
It was rush hour, and Nairobi seemed determined not to move.
Dinner and the kindness of our hosts helped settle my nerves.
Then Joss gave me news I had not expected. I would have to find my way alone. At Kencom, he told me to board KBS route number 102. I climbed into the crowded bus.
I held on tightly and watched the city through the window. Then the bus reached a stop where many passengers got off.
I thought I recognized it and stepped off.
Only after the bus disappeared did doubt begin.
The landmark told me I was somewhere else.
The clock was already approaching 8.
From the hospital, I began walking toward Mbagathi Way. Soon I was almost running. Then another doubt stopped me. I was lost in a city that seemed endless. I gathered courage and asked an elderly man for directions. He told me to turn back and take another route.
So I ran again.
At about 9, I finally reached the college. I was 30 minutes late. A security guard directed me to the examination hall. Inside, everyone was already writing. An invigilator showed me to a prepared seat. The first paper was mathematics. Then came biology. Then physics. And finally, chemistry. Many questions resembled what I had studied in Form 4. By 11, the written examination was over. Then we waited to face the interview panel. Eventually, I realized I was the last candidate. My turn had come. The panel looked friendlier than I had feared. They asked general questions, and I answered as best I could. Then came the question, what did I understand by environment? I sharp. I said it had something to do with our surroundings.
The panel seemed amused by my answer.
When it ended, they wished me well. By the time I stepped outside, it was almost 7, and it was drizzling.
The jacket that had looked ceremonial in the morning had become an umbrella.
I boarded a bus back toward town.
Sit. The bus gradually emptied. I had no familiar landmark to tell me where to get off. When I finally stepped off, I was alone. At night, Nairobi had become a maze. For a moment, I thought a culvert might become my bed. Then I saw a small food kiosk glowing against the darkness. I ordered kitheri, maize and beans, the taste of something familiar. For the first time in hours, I felt some comfort.
Above the counter, a black and white television flickered.
By around 11, most customers had left. Then the watchman came into view. He pointed toward the darkness and said, "Hello, Enda." A middle-aged woman nearby noticed what was happening. She spoke to me gently and asked what had happened. She believed me. They decided to take me to the city bus station. I expected emptiness. Instead, Masaku was alive. She told me I would be safe there until morning. I watched her disappear, carrying my gratitude with her. I wrapped myself in the same jacket and tried to sleep on a cold bench.
At 5 in the morning, the bus station transformed again.
Now I wanted only one thing. Home. Home. When my mother heard what had happened, her tears said what words could not.
My mother sent me into the world. The world tested me, and I had already passed the most important test.